Game time!
Welcome to Game Time, the first one of the new year. We are on location at Legacy Academy, and the boys basketball team and head coach Chris PEREZ. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being our first guest of the new decade, of the new year.
Right.
What's it like this year? A lot of people might not know, Legacy Academy, a relatively new program, the first year with a varsity team as a member school. What's it been like, that development from point A to point B?
Well, I think mainly it's been like the intensity of the games. I think our guys understanding really what level we're playing at now. I think usually they're used to kind of playing in the rec leagues and you know, in the middle school leagues, charter school leagues, but here it was really kind of like understand the intensity. The teams we're going to play, they're going to have good coaches, they're going to have players that have been playing together for a long time, good cultures and everything like that. So that's just what I want to establish here. I want them to understand that, hey, we're trying to make an impact right now. And I think so far we've done a good job of that, just in terms of how they go about the game. So I think they're, you know, they're ready for it. They're excited for it every game now. They're like, okay, we got our feet wet. Let's keep at it.
What's been the biggest challenge of starting up a program like this?
Well, being very young. I think, you know, it's hard. You know, sometimes I got to yell at 9th and 10th graders to lead a team when usually they got seniors and juniors in front of them that kind of exemplify what they need to do. So they're the culture starters, really. Even 8th graders are stepping up. So that's really been the biggest challenge, just kind of develop that youth part of it. But I tell them that that's not our excuse. That's our barrier that we got to break. We've always been battle tested. We play up. But again, and once it levels out, I think we're going to be pretty good. And I want them to understand that hey, we're building towards something. It's not always the here and now, but we're always building towards, you know, being better.
It's always a challenge starting something from the ground up and building. It's an uphill struggle a lot at times. I'm sure you can relate. Why take over a task like that?
Well, I think it's the challenge of it. Like you said, you know, the process of building something. You know, that's just what I've built my, you know, playing career on was, you know, I've always, you know, kind of been the guy that's undersized that people underestimate. So I just really wanted to kind of take a program where I could say, you know what, I want to see what I can do where it's just been me, I start the culture. And it's very rare to be able to do that. Usually you take over a program, either if it was bad or good, you're taking over a program. But here it's really the school started, the basketball program started, just to see what I can do here, and then, you know, it could get attention somewhere else and think, wow, you know, what I've done here. And obviously more people are involved, the assistants, the players, the staff. I mean, there's so much support here, and that's really when I walked into this gym, I just fell in love with the place. I saw what could be done. You know, Pastor Steve had a vision for this, and you know, I was right there with them. He wanted to get us started with MMA this year, and then, you know, first for me, I'm like, man, we're still pretty young, but why not? You know, why not get the process started? And these guys are stepping up to the challenge. So that's just really, like I said, it's been the fun part. Seeing the process of these players grow and develop has been fun. You
got a great gym, wonderful facility. What kind of team do you have to put on the floor? What about these guys? What kind of squad do you have?
They get pretty scrappy. You know, they could get after. I mean, you know, with us being undersized too, we have to really depend on, you know, outsmarting opponents or setting them a certain way defensively. Offensively, though, they've surprised me. You know, we have good balanced scoring, I think. Guys can shoot it. Guys are a lot more skilled than when I first came here. So I think both offensively and defensively, we're still developing. I'm a defensive guy, so I always think we could play better defense. But offensively, I think they're doing a better job executing. And that was our word for the year, was to focus, okay, we need to execute plays, because we can't just, you know, throw the ball out and just play. You know, we got to work together. These guys are learning how to move the ball. They hype each other up. I mean, if you watch our games, you'll see our bench. They get hyped for each other. So it's really cool for these guys to kind of get together and just build this brotherhood that they have. So it's been fun to watch.
What's a realistic expectation for this group?
Well, I think this year it's really just, like I said, we get our feet wet and see, you know, where we're at. Just, you know, I always, you know, looking at the rankings with us right now sitting at 17, you know, for me, I want these guys to at least get in the top 16 this year. I mean, for me, I was like, okay, well, I want it next year just because that's when we're playoff eligible. But right now, let's see what we can do. Let's see where we're at right now. You know, make it known, and then next year, that's the thing. I think these guys could get into the state playoffs, and then, you know, from there get a win in the state playoffs and then the championship. So I want these guys to have this why not attitude about them. Really, okay, we've been battle tested. Why can't we be the ones? Doesn't matter how young we are, how young the school is even. What can we do as a group? You guys have stuck together for 4 years. Some guys have left, but these guys have stuck together, and I think they deserve it. They deserved it. You know, like, all right, were they committed here, even though they don't really see, or we don't really see the school fully developed. They've trusted it. Their parents have trusted in it, and so I just feel like for me, personally, for these guys, I owe it to them to give my best for them to achieve the biggest goal, which is the state championship.
Those are great expectations to put down for a foundation of a program. Right. We're going to talk some more with Coach Chris PEREZ after this.
I thought I was pretty tough until I became a father.
Oh, I hate those things.
What do you mean you hate
Real toughness is knowing when you need help.
We've all been there. Fried nerves, no sleep. None of us do it alone. If you need help, you've got to ask for it.
We need to fight for our kids' futures. It's up to all of us to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Connect with resources and support at pulltogether.org.
Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, did you know one night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks? Or that athletes who drink and do drugs are twice as likely to get injured? Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to lifeofanathlete.com to find out today.
Time is it? Game time!
Welcome back to Game Time. We're at Legacy Academy with the boys basketball team and head coach Chris PEREZ. A lot of people may or may not know you spent 4 years with the University of New Mexico men's basketball team. What do you remember? What do you take away? What kind of experience was that for you?
Well, really, it was to do something like what I'm doing here. That's really was the main reason when I was looking at Division I, Division II schools coming out of high school. I really wanted to be a part of a program where it was going to help me in this level of what I want to do. I always wanted to be a coach just because, I knew the game so well. I loved the game so much. And so from there, what really, from high school to college, both my coaches were so detailed in everything, off the court and on the court. At first, when I got into coaching, I didn't really, put those kind of values in, but I started to realize that it is needed. You can't just go out there and do X's and O's and, expect them to respect you or respect your team to be organized. You got to teach it in the classroom. You got to teach it socially. You got to really help them in every way possible when it comes to how they dress, how they go about themselves, how they treat other people. So I think that's really been the biggest thing is that, and also the personal relationship I had. I think that's what I want for my kids too, is I want them to know that, I'm just helping you try to be a better person. And this is the platform that we're using. And so that's what, I took away from being at UNM. Such a great experience, being able to travel, understand, like even with the X's and O's, with Coach Neal and Coach Alford, man, the stuff that they taught us, I was able to grasp and teach it to these guys at this level. So I think that's what, I could, helps me get an edge is I just know the type of coverages we can do, the type of offenses we can run, the type of reads we can make. And so that's really what I got from just 4 years of UNM basketball.
What was the highlight of your 4 years with the Lobos?
Well, it was my very last play. It was my last play ever in a uniform. Just again, going against the trees, going against bigger guys, just finding a way to get the ball in the hole and the crowd going wild. I'll never forget that. It's still on YouTube. I still look at it sometimes just to, just to really think about it and say, like, if I could do it, other guys could do it. That's why, I really kind of stuck to home here. I see a lot of guys that have potential, and that's what I really see as a coach. I don't really try to criticize them too much. If I do, but I'm going to help them correct. I'm going to help them get better. I'm going to see their potential, and I'm going to give them the confidence that they need so they could maybe get to that level even higher in terms of not just coming on the court here and there, but actually being a part of a good Division I, Division II program, and then getting a college degree out of it, which sets them up for the rest of their life. So. Those are I feel like since third grade till then, that was the memory that, if everything was worth it from there on. So I just really want to help these kids understand, like, you got to put in the work, you got to get there. I got my foot in the door at a great university, a top 25 school. And I got that moment. So
not being from New Mexico, but going to school here for 4 years and playing a career with the University of New Mexico, why stay here? Why not go back home to California or somewhere?
Well, that was the original thought. I wanted to go back home and go with, be a part of my high school coaching staff. I just want to take what I got here and go back home. But then, different plans. I thought about, what I could do here, and like I said, I see a lot of guys like me that, they have this potential. Maybe they get overlooked. So I want to kind of bring a little bit better basketball culture here. I think it's a basketball town, it's a basketball state. I mean, they love basketball here. So, and when I moved here, I understood the culture of it. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed, kind of branching off and, showing what I can do. And, with Coach Giles from high school and Coach Al from college, they put so much into me. And so I think it's only right for me to do the same with these kids, is to create a program, like that. I think maybe probably their best reward from me being a part of their program is to see what I did with it. And so that's why I'm here. I mean, I love the facility, I love the gym, and love the support here. So it's been fun to really, get this process going.
Well, back to these kids. You have a tournament coming up this week. What do you hope to see from this group at this tournament? You won one tournament already earlier this season.
Yeah, so I think just, we had our experience. We played in the Magdalena tournament, got our butts kicked a little bit, and understood the okay, it's real. So that was kind of the wake-up call. So I'm telling them, I think even being young is not an excuse anymore. We're 10 games in, we're sitting at 6-4. So with this tournament, I want them to come in, thinking like we have to have this mentality that we're going to win it. We could look at teams that are 3A, 2A, they're killing, they're beating up on teams. Again, just having that why not attitude. So just taking it one game at a time, not look at the whole bracket and see where everybody else is at. I always tell them, like, okay, focus on you, because if you don't handle your business, it doesn't matter what the other side of the bracket looks like. You got to beat the teams ahead of you, whatever we're matched up with. And so I think we have a tough Navajo Pine team coming up. Got some information on them, and I think these guys, we could get a good quality win against them with what they're doing. They're kind of like running kind of my style, the run and gun type of thing. So we're going to see how we match up with that and the intensity of that game.
You may be a young program and a relatively new head coach, but you got the veteran coach speak down. One game at a time, you already got it down. Well, good luck this week. Good luck, guys, the rest of the season. We'll be back with more Game Time after this.
New Mexico Gas Company rebate programs can help you save money and use energy more efficiently. Your furnace is essential for those colder seasons. Natural gas is the best way to heat your home. A natural gas furnace offers exceptionally even heat. It also costs less than most other heating systems. Have a high-efficiency heater or boiler installed by a participating contractor and earn up to a $375 rebate. For more information on New Mexico Gas Company rebate programs, visit nmgco.com.
The New Mexico Activities Association is excited to announce the NMAA 24/7 mobile app. Whether you're a student, coach, parent, or player, you can have the power of the NMAA right in the palm of your hand. Find scores and schedules, follow your favorite teams, receive special offers from NMAA sponsors, get state championship information, highlights, features, and much more. Download the free NMAA 24/7 mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Get it now.
Welcome back to Game Time. We just saw the latest Max Preps basketball polls. And speaking of basketball, there were a lot of baskets made over the holiday, but none better than this one by Hannah Straight of Grants. Check it out. She hit the half-court buzzer beater to end the third quarter in their win over Miyamura. I'd say that is pretty impressive. Switching gears to wrestling, and the state wrestling tournament will be here before you know it. Last year, the NMAA Board of Directors approved a proposal to sanction a girls wrestling division that will culminate with the state championships in February. Girls wrestling is a growing sport that gets bigger and bigger every year.
It looks and sounds like any other wrestling tournament with pins and whistles, but this one is a little different. It's an all-girls meet.
It's been a long time coming for them to finally have their own show, so it's great and it's good to be a part of it.
It's so exciting because like my first tournament ever, I had to wrestle all boys. It was terrifying and I lost every single one incredibly quickly. But it's really exciting because like I get to watch like my girls wrestle. Like this is our team and I get to see the girls wrestle and the girls compete.
Girls wrestling has more than doubled in New Mexico over the past 2 years. Over half a dozen programs took part in the recent Lady Pinto's Invite, and the wrestlers appreciate the enthusiasm for this growing sport.
The excitement that it can get and like just everyone yelling and all of that, you can just like hear it. And like, you know, just being surrounded by the sound, you just love it. It used to be just me and Princess on my team, but now we have more girls and more females. And as you look at other teams, there's more females also.
The New Mexico Activities Association sanctioned a girls wrestling division this season.
Not a lot of states are sanctioned, so this being the first year where we're sanctioned, having our own tournament, it's really exciting, like knowing that we're making that history.
It started off very small wrestling boys, and now it's picked up momentum where they're finally sanctioned, so it's good to be a part of it.
An exhibition event has been held each of the last 2 years in conjunction with the boys' state tournament. But this February, the girls will have their own division at the state tournament, with medals awarded to the top 3 participants.
Well, I'm 36 years old. I remember only seeing a few girls wrestle at the time when I wrestled, so it's we've talked with a lot of the coaches that are here. All the coaches here are really excited about it. It's nice to see that the girls get their due.
We've had 1 to 2 girls the last couple of years, and each year it seems like a couple more come out, and then this year with actually getting sanctioned, it's been huge. We went from 2 in our room to where we have 10. So it's huge after they actually sanctioned it, and I think it's going to be a huge thing, and we're going to just keep growing.
We only had 1-2 girls wrestling in a tournament where they'd be counted as exhibitions because there weren't any other girl wrestlers, or they'd have to wrestle the guys, which it was fair, but guys' strength beats girls' strength. So seeing this, it's grown a lot to just know that we have each other as a fair strength.
New Mexico is the 18th state to sanction girls wrestling, with the sport growing fast nationwide.
Mark your calendars for February 21st and 22nd. That's when the state wrestling championships will take place at the Santa Ana Star Center in Rio Rancho. That's going to do it for this episode of Game Time. But remember, spread the word. Tell everybody the most comprehensive high school sports show out there is Game Time right here every Tuesday night. Until then, here's your meme of the week.